Have you ever noticed how some people just know how to talk? How to command a room and get everyone on board? It feels like there's a secret language of leadership. Well, today, we're going to unlock it. We're going to look at an ancient art form that shows you how leaders really persuade.
But first, a quick and kinda hilarious cautionary tale. No matter how perfect your words are, delivery is everything. Speechwriter Simon Lancaster tells this story about writing a big Churchill-inspired speech for an Australian businessman. The theme was all about fighting for the future. But he forgot about the accent. So he watched in absolute horror as this guy stood up and proudly declared his intention to, well, you can see it on the screen. It just proves a huge point. The best words in the world mean nothing without the right technique.
So what is this secret language of leadership? Well, it's not some new corporate buzzword. It's actually an ancient art form that used to be common knowledge, but over time it's been locked away, becoming this exclusive tool for a powerful few. It's called rhetoric, the art of persuasion. You know, back in ancient Rome, this was a core part of the curriculum for every single student. And even in 19th century London, you could get a free education in it. It was actually considered more important than mathematics. Can you imagine that? It was seen as a basic skill you needed to participate in society. But somewhere along the line, that all changed. Big time. Today, the formal teaching of rhetoric has been narrowed down, restricted to a very, very small and powerful elite. So you know what? Let's break it open and look at the practical tools that anyone can use. We're going to start with what I call the structural toolkit. These are 3 foundational techniques for building an argument that just sounds solid, passionate, and totally reasonable.
We're going to look at 3 simple but incredibly powerful tools: the rule of 3, repetition, and crafting balanced statements. Let's see how they work.
First up, the rule of 3. There's just something about the number 3 that feels complete. Think about Lincoln's government of the people, by the people, for the people. It makes any argument sound more compelling, more convincing, and more credible. See? It just works. Next is repetition. You know, Churchill could have said this line way faster. He could have just said, "We'll fight everywhere." But he wasn't just trying to get information across, he was trying to convey emotion. Think about it. When you're really passionate about something, you tend to repeat yourself. Repetition is the authentic sound of passion. And the third tool is the balanced statement. Now, this one is just genius. Because if a sentence sounds balanced, our brains automatically assume the idea behind it is also balanced and fair. We're just wired to like balance, balanced diets, a balanced life, so we are naturally drawn to sentences that sound like this.
Okay, so that's the structure. Now let's move on to the conceptual toolkit. This is where things get really interesting, because these techniques are all about shaping how an audience actually perceives reality itself.
And the most powerful conceptual tool of all is the metaphor. You might not even realize it, but our conversations are absolutely littered with them. Get this. On average, we use one metaphor for every 16 words we speak. They are, you could say, the elephant in the room of communication. And here's why they're so powerful. Take the phrase, the Arab Spring. It creates this image of sunshine, flowers, and hopeful new beginnings. But the reality, geopolitical experts say it's going to take that region 2 full generations to recover. That's not a spring, it's an inferno. The metaphor frames our reality, and in this case, it's basically a lie.
All right, next up is exaggeration. When a leader says, "I will give my heart and soul," we know it's not literally true. But it feels authentic, doesn't it? That's because it mimics how our perspective changes when we're feeling strong emotions. It's a key tool for signaling genuine passion.
And finally, there's rhyme. You know, studies show people are more likely to believe something if it rhymes. It's because of something called processing fluency. Rhymes are just easy for our brains to swallow, which makes the idea feel truer, even if it's a total fallacy. Just think of the O.J. Simpson trial. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
So, we've just covered 6 techniques that can make even the most absurd arguments sound plausible. But why is it so important for everyone to understand this? Why does any of this really matter?
Well, the ancient Romans understood that this isn't just about giving a good speech. They taught rhetoric to everyone because they knew that a fair society is impossible unless all of its citizens have an equal ability to stand up and express themselves.
But that is not our reality today. Not even close. The crucial point is this. In Britain, one school, Eton College, is famous for teaching rhetoric. And as this chart shows, a staggering 19 of the last 50 prime ministers came from that one single school. This vital skill has been dangerously narrowed to a tiny, powerful elite.